What's happening, guys? Back at you with another video. So in this video I'm going to be giving my review for the Snyder Cut of Justice League. So pretty much to say, like, this was a pretty long movie, clocking in at about 4 hours, like 4 hours and like 2 minutes, I think it was. It was actually presented in a 4:3 format, so it wasn't like your typical kind of widescreen. It was, your kind of uh, more full screen kind of view, like a 4:3 ratio. It was presented in. That's the way Zack Snyder wanted it for some reason. He said it was part of the artistic value that he was going for. But I mean, nonetheless, it didn't like really affect the movie. Really like the viewing and watching it didn't really affect it really. So like I was actually pretty excited for this cut, the Snyder Cut to come out. Like I was actually one of the few people that was like on board with Zack Snyder with the way he was going with the DC universe, like the way he was taking the movies. Like the way it was like kind of like a darker kind of grittiness that he was taking it, and just other stuff like that he was doing with the whole all the movies he was doing for DC universe. Not too many people were on board with it, but like after they saw the original Justice League back in 2017, they were like, we need this Snyder Cut. I want to see what Zack Snyder would have done with this movie if it was his full movie. But I was actually one of the ones that was like on board already with him. I wanted to see the what he would have done, pretty much his cut already from the beginning. Like I really did want to see it. Like I do like Joss Whedon, like what he's done with with Marvel and the Avengers and all that. But I just felt like with Zack Snyder's cut, it was like, I mean, not Zack Snyder's cut, but Zack Snyder's vision, what he was going for in the DC universe, what the movies he did so far. I just felt like I liked that way a little bit better the way it was. Like, it was kind of different and it was more dark and kind of gritty. The grittiness going on and all that. I kind of did actually like it. Like, people had their complaints about Batman v Superman. Sure, it's not the greatest of movies, but honestly, I did like it. I did enjoy it for the most part. Some parts and nitpicking here and there, but overall, it was like not too bad of a movie. Honestly, I usually just watch the Ultimate Edition of Batman v Superman. That's usually one I just watch. But the way Zack Snyder was approaching the way the universe was, like the DC universe, the way he was approaching it, I would like what he was doing so far with it, and I would want him to keep going and see what else he would do with it, and especially with Justice League. Like, originally, I think it was going to be like 2 parts or 3 parts, something like that. You'd like, he had the 2 parts and then sequel and all that stuff that he was planning on doing. So I definitely wanted to see what happened with that, but we didn't get it. We got, we got the original Justice League. Zack Snyder did some of it, most of it, and stuff like that. But Joss Whedon came in after Zack Snyder departed from the from Justice League movie. Joss Whedon came in and put his finishing touches on it and stuff like that. And that's the what original Justice League movie we got back in 2017. That's what we got. That was pretty much the finishing product of what Joss Whedon did, with a little bit of Zack Snyder in there too. But this time around, we got the actual Zack Snyder cut. This was his vision. This was all him. This is what he wanted to do originally. So this is the one that we got. The 4 hour long movie that we got. And I gotta say, such a great job he did with this. Like, I like the way he took it. I liked his vision for this movie. Such an amazing job. It was pretty epic to watch. I will say, with it being like the long run time of 4 hours, it honestly didn't even feel like watching a 4 hour movie. Like, the way the pacing was, the way the story was actually done pretty well. Like, it didn't even feel like it was 4 hours long. Like, it didn't feel like it was that long. It didn't feel like 4 hours, like you were watching like a 4 hour movie, or like dreading to watch a 4 hour movie, or like, just trying to get through it, like barely trying to get through and stuff like that. No, honestly, like the pacing and story wise of this movie did not feel like a long movie. They feel like you were like trying to go with it and try to get through it. You actually were engaged in it. Actually were watching it. Actually were experiencing it. And just the way it was set up, the pacing, the story wise, was great. It was amazing, pretty good. I gotta give it up to Zack Snyder. He did not disappoint, in my opinion, with the way he was. And then, people pushing for the Zack Snyder cut, the hashtags, the whole internet break, breaking the internet with the hashtags and all that stuff like that. Like, release the Snyder cut, we need the Snyder cut and stuff like that. Like, and I remember they showed a little video thing, too. They were saying like how Zack Snyder actually was saying, he's saying, I want to thank the fans for pushing for this, and it's them that pushed for this and was able to do this. So like it was good that the fans actually did, actually come together for this and pushed for the Zack Snyder cut to be released. He was able to come back, put his own vision put into this movie, put the way he did and do it the way he wanted, like, and it paid off. The wait paid off, and then seeing that, all that, it paid off in my opinion. Like, this movie was so great and so much more superior to the original Justice League movie back in 2017. I like this version so much better. Just the way that he did it was such amazing. The way that they were able to flesh out more, like with the 4 hour runtime, it got through so much, and you were able to flesh out the story, flesh out each character, and it did so much more better. Like, overall, it was so much more better for the actual characters in fleshing their stories out. Each character got their own moment to shine with the story, their like own kind of story building up to the actual team up towards the end of the movie and stuff like that. Like, in the beginning, how we get Batman trying to get all of them together, and some of them were reluctant, and really Flash being the only one that was like on board right away. I mean, we see the part where he goes to see Aquaman. Aquaman's reluctant to join. Cyborg is a little reluctant to join too, but you get their stories. You get the Aquaman story a little bit more. You see why he hates Atlantis and the way it is a little bit more. You get that fleshed out. We get the flesh out of Cyborg, which we really missed out on the original Justice League. They didn't really flesh out too much on Cyborg's character in the original Justice League, but this one, he fleshed it out so much, and you come to realize that Cyborg is really like the heart of the story, the heart of the team, with the way his story is set up, and they were able to flesh out his story, pretty much tell the origin of it, how it was before, and everything, get like his actual view on stuff like that. And then you see how he comes to terms with his actual, like, he thinks of, all this, the way he was created, in a sense, like how he was close to death, and then created, in a sense, by the mother boxes and all that, and then he resents his father and all that. You kind of see how he actually comes to terms, as in, he's thinking like, this is a curse, this ain't a gift and all that, but you see how he actually comes into terms to realize that, what, like, this is actually what I should do. This is something I should be doing, and he comes into terms that saying like he should do this for the greater good. He should become a hero. He should do what he needs to for the greater good, and he comes to terms with that. And you see that from like the way he was, like, he was pretty much resenting his dad. He resented the fact that he was, Cyborg, with the way he was, and you see throughout the movie, he's slowly starts to realize and comes to terms that he needs to do this. This is what he was made for, in a sense, but he needs to become this hero, and he gets into terms with it, and he accepts it, and he becomes a hero, and pretty much like the heart of the movie, that you can see that throughout the movie. So we get the fleshed out story of Cyborg and other characters too. Flash had extended scenes added to his story somewhat too. We get a little bit from Wonder Woman. I gotta say, Wonder Woman, during the action scenes, what great thing about this was that it was given an R rating, so we were able to actually flesh out stuff. Especially during the action scenes, you notice that they really went out with the action scenes. Like, it wasn't held back by like the PG-13 rating that the original one had. So like, whenever it came to like Wonder Woman and some of the action scenes, you could see like her impact that she had. Like, she was so badass in some of the action scenes that they had, and given the R rating, they weren't able to hold back. So really did give us some good Wonder Woman action scenes, and just overall, all the action scenes from all the characters were pretty good. Like, everything was set up pretty nicely and good. The way that we get Batman, though, Batman was like, from Batman v Superman to the way it was in here, is kind of two completely different things. In Batman v Superman, he saw Superman as a threat and wasn't really on board with Superman. In this movie, we get him supporting Superman. He's fine. He says that Superman is the only chance that we have. he is our last hope. He is the hope that we need for Earth and stuff like that. And he finally accepts Superman as the hope that they need for the team and all, pretty much the whole world. And he accepts that, which is set up nicely in the movie. So you get two different Batman, sort of from Batman v Superman to this Justice League movie, kind of two different Batmans on point of views, and it's really interesting to see that. And Superman coming back from the dead, and we get the black suit. You got fan service covered in there with the black suit, and just seeing overall some of the stuff that we seen. Some of the action scenes he was in was pretty good also. And like I said, not being held back by PG-13 rating, they were able to go all out on some of the action scenes. So the action scenes were pretty good. I gotta say, the action scenes were pretty good. When it came to the actual villain of Steppenwolf, I gotta say Steppenwolf was a lot more better in this movie than he was in original Justice League. In the original Justice League, I felt he was just thrown in. He didn't really have too much of a backstory. He didn't have really too much fleshed out on him, and he was just there. He was just a villain. He was just there. It was just pretty much there for just League to fight. That's it. He didn't really have anything going on for him. This movie, they fleshed out his story more. We see that he is actually trying to get the mother boxes and trying to take over Earth for Darkseid, as pretty much like a redemption story, or pretty much like trying to get back onto Darkseid's good side. We see that he's like struggling, and we see that he's trying to redeem himself to Darkseid to get back on his good side. So he tries to get the mother boxes. He's trying to take over the world for Darkseid's arrival, and he's trying to do that for Darkseid. So we get that more fleshed out kind of backstory for that, and we see that we get Darkseid. We do get Darkseid in the movie. He's not in the movie as much. A couple scenes here and there. You can see Darkseid. It'll be good. Like, it was good to see Darkseid, and just overall, like, some of the stuff that he was in, some of the scenes, like, to get into context of what Steppenwolf is actually trying to do for Darkseid. So it's good to have him in there and be able to get some of those scenes in there that he was in. The movie, like, it was pretty good. Like I say, it's like really good. I highly enjoyed it. We get so much more fleshed out for stories and characters and all that. I remember seeing, like, we got the reveal of Martian Manhunter, which was so awesome. And it was rumored that he was going to be in the movie, and he actually did appear in the movie, which was so pretty cool to actually see, like, the live action version of Martian Manhunter. I know we had the Supergirl version, but to see him in the Justice League movie was so cool. And to have his appearance in Justice League movie was pretty good. He didn't actually really do too much. He was just in two scenes that I saw. Like, one scene that he had with Lois, but he didn't know until he transformed into Martian Manhunter. And you see, and then we get him back again at the end where he's telling Batman, we have a great threat coming, and I am here to help. And he pretty much says that he's here to help, which is pretty cool. So it'll be interesting to see if we do happen to get another Justice League movie or some continuation of it. Be awesome to see Martian Manhunter and his appearance in future projects and stuff like that. See what he could be able to do. I would say that one of the cool scenes that came out towards the end, we got I'm guessing like pretty much like a glimpse into the future. It was kind of like it was pretty much the nightmare scene from Batman v Superman, but like extended, like it was kind of more extended look at it. But it could be a glimpse into the future. We're just gonna wait and see for that if they'll actually continue have a continuation to this movie. But we got a glimpse of it towards the end of the movie, and this is where the Joker comes out. We get the scene with Joker, the Jared Leto's Joker. We get, and I gotta say, it was a pretty good scene. Like, the dynamic that we got between Jared Leto's Joker and Ben Affleck's Batman, like, just the overall tone and just the way they were, like, with each other, like, just talking, and just like they're pretty much talking to each other, like, and we got like Cyborg and Mira were there too, and Deathstroke was there too. Like, they had like their own little team kind of going on, and they're saying like, did we really have to bring Joker in and stuff like that? And then, like, just the way Joker was, like, we got Jared Leto in Suicide Squad, and honestly, Not really one of the best Jokers. It wasn't. But honestly, the way he played Joker in this scene particularly, I gotta say, was a lot better than what he was doing with the Joker in Suicide Squad. Like, this Joker was actually a little bit better in my opinion. Like, we got a glimpse of what he could actually do with the Joker if he got a full fledged role in throughout a whole movie. So if he was able to do that with that, like that. Well, we got the dynamic between Batman and the Joker, just the way they were conversating, and honestly, it was a good scene with the way they were interacting with each other between Batman and Joker. And he was mentioning like we had to bring him in, and then Joker was like mentioning how he pretty much was like mentioning kind of Jason Todd and stuff like that, him dying and all that. And it's like you're familiar with death and all that, familiar with the burden of somebody dying in your arms and just death around you and all that, Joker was saying. So, the dynamic and impact and the interaction between them was so good. And, we see Batman on the edge, like he's really on the edge. He wants to attack Joker and stuff like that, but he's like, he holds back and all that. So, like, really the dynamic and the interaction between them was really good, honestly. It really was good. The way the nightmare scene was set up, it pretty much was like kind of like context. The way context was, pretty much was sort of like the Injustice storyline. They're talking about how Superman went bad, and it happened right after Lois's death. So, if they do continue with a continuation with this movie, and they actually do go the Injustice storyline way, that would be honestly pretty cool to see, like the way it was, like on because this little scene that we got with the nightmare scene, or leading up into the Injustice storyline was pretty cool. So if we get like that sort of continuation into a movie, uh, that'll be pretty epic. I'd say that'll be pretty cool to see that they do it right and all that. It'll be pretty cool to see that, and just the overall, just be awesome to see on the film the Injustice storyline. So that'd be cool to see. But like honestly, like I was saying, like I was one of the people that was on board with Zack Snyder from the beginning, with the way he was doing, with the way he was going with DC Universe. So the way we finally got the Zack Snyder cut of Justice League, it was his own vision. This is what he wanted to do, and I gotta say he did such a good job with it. Such a higher level, superior to the original Justice League we got in 2017. So I gotta say, really good, epic movie, pretty awesome, and to be able to finally get his vision on screen, and it was pretty awesome, pretty good movie, and pretty cool to watch. So I gotta say, so hopefully we get a continuation where it's his vision, and hopefully they see that at the studio, like the way people been clamoring for this Snyder cut, and then with everybody watching it on HBO Max, hopefully we could get a continuation to this, and hopefully they let Zack Snyder do what he wants, let him do his vision on what he wants to do. And honestly, if they do, and these next movies like continuation, they turn out good, honestly DC could get right on track with having good movies and all that. So hopefully they do let him do that, and hopefully they could let him just do his vision, let him do what he needs to do to try to put out good movies, and hopefully we get that. But that's up to them. We'll have to see what happens with that in the incoming future and see what goes on with that. But I mean, nothing really else to say about. Nothing really else more to say about the movie other than it was epic, it was good, awesome, highly enjoyed it. I do recommend it for y'all to watch. So let me know down in the comments below if you've seen the movie, and let me know what y'all thought of it. Definitely would like to hear y'all thoughts on the movie if y'all seen it already. But that's going to do it for this video. I hope y'all all enjoyed it. Remember, if you want to be a part of Team Legendary, all you got to do is subscribe and turn notifications on so you know when I post another video. Hope y'all all have an awesome day. And remember, be legendary.